Hello everybody, and welcome to a Parsons Progress. Today I am stood outside the cottage and I'm going to show you the state of the kitchen. You'll have seen that I've tidied up the sitting room to almost the point of acceptability. This is not the case with the kitchen, so I'm going to make a start on it and spruce the whole thing up. But before I do anything, I've got to declutter, and that's today's job. I shan't show you me doing it because I always find those sort of boring videos a bit boring. But I will show you the ruddy mess before and after. I don't think I'll finish it today, but I want to make at least a video record of what it looks like now. So come with me, if you will, into this shocking state of affairs. That all came up from the sitting room. There's that old cold storage heater. See that bed there? That was in a bell tent. I used to live in a tent outside the mountain. So as you can see, this room is, well, this is what it was like next door. Absolute ruddy mess. Just look at the state of the place. Look at that old cooker. There's a storage heater in there that needs to go. Another ingle nook. Into that, a Rayburn will probably go with a back boiler. And over there, where you can see a sort of a cupboard arrangement, I'm going to get a door going through into what is now the workshop, which will become a utility room. That'll probably have to be widened by the looks of it. Who knows? But that is the kitchen as it is. Got all this lovely panelling here. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be taken down because there is a space in here which you won't be able to see because the lighting, which does nothing. Oh, it's gone really dark. That's no good. Can't show you in there because there's not enough light. But there's a ghastly staircase here. Look, you can't swing a cat on that. It's really gloomy, isn't it? So all this is going to be sorted, but I'm going to make a start today by getting rid of some of that rubbish. Forgive me for breathing heavily, but I have been engaged in manual labour. Well, not that long ago, there was a great heap of rubbish in here. There's still some left, but that was today's job. I've unearthed some quarry tiles. I haven't done the rest yet. That lino comes up easily enough, whatever it is, underlay. And really, that's the size of it for today. I quite pleased with that. Begin to mimic the sitting room, which you've already seen. So yeah, that will be quarry tile obviously throughout here. That's just like a little down payment to show you what they look like. See you shortly for our little chat. Well, good evening, my friends. I've just sat down after having a go at that kitchen, which you'll have seen, and you'll agree that it's always good to make some progress, and I think I have done that. It didn't take a great lot of effort, really. I was puffing and blowing and panting a little bit, but there we are, that's life. Anyway, I've come up here to take some respite from the world, and down below where the caravan is, to enjoy a glass of cider. It's that cider you saw me drinking the other day. I'm still working my way through that jar. I'm rather getting fond of it. I can't remember who it is who makes it, or I don't think it's one of those big commercial brands. It's some form of scrumpy. And what I didn't realise was how strong it is. It's about 7.5%. So you're going to have to go careful on it, chaps. Now, I've got to make as little noise as I can today because somebody said that me slurping on my pipe was distracting. In fact, I watched yesterday's video, and don't forget I've got a new mic that's ultra sensitive. And I have to say, I was getting irritated with my own slurping. So I'm going to try and smoke my pipe in a very quiet and Zen fashion today. Hopefully, I'll probably still slurp. So, yes, I'm here at the end of another day. I'm slightly agitated because I'm just waiting on a consignment of whiskey, which I have to sign for. But they missed their window, but they said it's still out for delivery. I've given up. I mean, it's probably going to arrive while I make this video. It'll come tomorrow. I'm not bothered. I've got port in. That'll do me. But rather nice whiskey's on its way. So I've had a great day. The weather's been very odd. It's been cloudy, then threatening rain, then very sunny, then threatening rain. And I suppose April showers you'd call it, although it hasn't really rained. But I thought as the sun is shining a bit, I'd get on with some manual work in the house. And because I had to lug all that stuff outside and get it to the log store, you see. There's a lot of that sort of basic work when renovating. A lot of it's just prepping, you know, clearing the decks, clearing the area and clearing the house. And so that's what I've been engaged in primarily today. I've been doing a little bit of martial arts on my dojo. I'm not ready to show you that yet because my sword is still in the container. I've been doing it with a walking stick. Looks ridiculous, but it kind of works. Problem is, you see, you need to belong to a dojo, and there's no dojos around here. But there we go. What can you do? What else have I been up to today? Well, before all of that, yes, the pipe. This camera's probably not very good at picking these things up. Look at that beauty. I have got a picture in the thumbnails and what have you. That is an Erik Nording pipe made in Denmark. It's got a vulcanite stem. Lovely flame on the actual briar itself. Nice thing. It's very shiny. I suspect it's had some sort of coating on it, but apparently Erik Nording didn't coat his pipes. But maybe you can tell me whether he did or not. I've got a Parker's pipe that has some ghastly coating on it that I didn't like. Anyway, trying not to slurp, I'm going to put into it, it's in my Three Nuns tin, some My Mixture 965, I think it's called. Begins with a 9. Always get the other letters mixed up. But anybody who's a piper will know what I'm talking about. Now, yes, I received in the post this pipe today. It is a Erik Nording pipe. It is a freehand pipe. It's made of beautiful briar, probably Italian, but he's managed to capture all the flame grain on it. It's almost orange, isn't it? Remarkable, beautiful vulcanite stem. I prefer the vulcanite stems. You can get plastic stems, and I find are a bit, I don't know, well, plasticky. And then you've got my amber stem on one of my old meerschaums, and that's a bit glassy. But these vulcanite, I have to say, this has been one of the best things I've put in my mouth for a long time. Lovely. Clenches beautifully. Slightly discolours when you get spittle on it. This started life black, but it kind of discolours slightly. It's been lightly smoked by a previous owner, and I can attest to that. There's not a mark on the pipe, and there was certainly no build-up of coke inside. Didn't need to be decoked or prepped in any way, really. And I'm therefore assuming it's kind of broken in. It was a bargain, I suppose, compared with their new prices. Now, this pipe will date probably from the 70s. Could be earlier, the 60s. Erik Nording started in the 50s. He was a blacksmith in Denmark. And he took up pipe making really as a hobby, like I suppose a lot of people do. And then got into it sort of professionally. Big family business now. I mean, he must be in his late 80s. I'll put a picture up of him. And he's still going strong. He may have died since I last read up on him. But anyway, he's responsible for finding the company that created these masterpieces. I've always wanted a freehand. I think I mentioned that on one of my videos, that I just find the shape very pleasing. And he makes all his pipes out of what they call plateau wood. And sometimes you can see the little bumps and little hills, the little hillocks on the top. But it's a very pleasing pipe, very pleasing shape, sits well, extraordinarily light, but the bowl is huge, it's cavernous. I mean, I've probably got a good hour and a half's worth of tobacco in there. And talking of tobacco, when I bought it, the guy that I bought it off, he sent about a big sack of tobacco with it, and some pipe cleaners and a pipe tool. Well, I've already got a pipe tool, so I might give that away as a freebie. Don't think it's worth a great lot. I might do another one of my little competitions and just send it off to somebody. Anyway, I don't like really having two of everything when one's just going to sit in a drawer doing nothing. But anyway, all this tobacco arrived, which, wasn't part of the deal. But this beauty was the deal. And, if you do your sums, the tobacco, I think, I got more monetary value in the tobacco than probably the pipe. Ruddy great sack. Fresh tobacco too. And what was wonderful, I was going to do a bit of a spiel on the tobacco as well, because it's that, I can't remember the name of it now, something leaf. What's it called? From Tolkien, from The Lord of the Rings. Might come to me in the course of the video, but I can't remember the name. There's a name, it begins with a B, something leaf, which is the, what is it? I can't remember. They see, this is the problem. I am going around the twist, slowly, living on my own here. You'll remember what it is anyway. It begins with a B, something leaf, and it's what they used to smoke in The Hobbit and all the rest of it, and Gandalf. Don't slurp. And anyway, he sent a big sack of this stuff, which probably is worth more than the actual pipe itself. I don't believe you can get that leaf in this country. Can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I'm going to spark this up with my mixture in it. It's a good job that I'm not taping a dinner party, isn't it? With these mics, these ultra-sensitive mics, everybody chomping on their food and masticating. Well, that'll do for an Ashburn. What a beautiful smoker, I've got to say. Smooth as you like. Wonderful, really. Great pipe. Beautiful drawer on it. Very light, considering the size, and maybe it's light because of the size of the hole, which is huge. Great if you want a nice long smoke. So yeah, that was a bit of excitement, that arriving, and so generous. I'm going to have to give that chap good feedback. Well, I do anyway, on the whole. And he was very quick getting it sent to me. I'm almost tempted to buy one of his other pipes, one of his cheaper pipes, and ask that he sends another great big sack of tobacco. So, yeah, good plan, and happy with that. The other thing I've ordered today is a circuit tester. I had some great advice from the Landy people out there. Marvellous. I was reading them last night. People were telling me what the chassis referred to and how to sort the lights out and about the batteries and this, that and the other. And fabulous. And I was consulting my Haynes manuals today on my Land Rover. But the problem I've got with my Land Rover is because it's been so messed about with, and by that I mean people felt they were upgrading it possibly, which is perfectly acceptable, I suppose. If you want a vehicle that works and comfortable or whatever you're doing, perhaps you do upgrade them. I don't think they were buying them, the old farmers, as future icons that need to be set in aspect for future generations. But anyway, this, yeah, but there's all sorts of anomalies. For example, somebody mentioned, and he's been very helpful. He knows all about Land Rovers, this fella. And he was saying how it started life as a petrol engine, which makes sense, because I know that a diesel engine was dropped in, but I thought it was a diesel engine, just a larger diesel engine from the previous diesel engine. I may have got that entirely wrong now, but it's been upgraded from upgraded, side-graded, downgraded from a petrol to a diesel, because those diesels were expensive to run. They were quieter and probably less jittery, but diesels are great in winter and less to go wrong on them, you see, so maybe that's why they changed it. Anyway, they did. So there are lots of anomalies. So, for example, there is some switch where a choke would have been. There is no choke, obviously, anymore. So there is a switch where the choke should be, I think, on the Series 3 dashboard, which it has. I haven't got a clue what that does. And also mine is really weird because it's got a sort of after-sales load of nonsense going on. So, for example, it's push-button ignition. Because the start button is in a crafty place. I think it's an anti-theft device. So if you shove your key in and one thing, nothing happens. You can also disconnect the battery. There's another thing to disconnect the battery, so nothing will even go to the key. Well, you get the picture. So because of all of that, the wiring could have all been messed up a bit, and they've also shoved a radio cassette in, and maybe when they shoved that in, it hasn't helped. So the wiring is a bit odd. But with my circuit tester and my trusty Haynes manual, workshop manual, I'm just going to work my way through the switches and do what everybody has told me to do in the comments, and I'll be checking for earths and just making sure that things are working from the hot wire, that the switches are working, bulbs are working, and by a process of elimination, check the fuses, of course, it could be something as simple as that. Identify the problems. But these are good problems to have, aren't they? I'm even trying to drink my whiskey. Well, it's not whiskey. I wish that was. Can you imagine if that was whiskey? I'd be on my back. I'm trying to drink my cider without making too much gulpy noises in the mic. Oh. Anyway, so there's all that bit of excitement with the Land Rover today. Looking forward to the circuit tester coming, and I'll get to grips with that. Thank you for the comments that you have made. You're a great bunch. I've read all of them. Every comment. Some real good experts out there. Why on earth they've been wanting to watch an amateur like me, I don't know. Well, I'm not complaining. The advice is great. You can't go wrong with this My Mixture, you know. It's just a perfect English blend. I've been missing it. I haven't had it for a couple of weeks. I can only afford so much tobacco, you see, so I can't have everything at the same time. It's impossible to smoke a pipe without making noises. I think it's the maybe that he didn't like. Well, I'm not going to get paranoid about it because nobody else complained. In fact, everybody said the mic sounded better. So I'm hoping that is the case. I'm using it now, as we speak. So, yeah, that's the Landy brief, up to date. It's got a 12-volt battery. Apparently, the early ones had two 6 volts in series. But you could change them over to 12 volts as long as it equaled whatever it was replacing. But the wiring harness is correct for the job, so you don't blow anything up. And I'm sure they must have done that right. So, you know, there's all sorts of anomalies on this vehicle that means you can't just look at Haynes or think of a Land Rover in the past and say, well, this is how you do it, because they've messed about with it so much. It's all, you know, it's all different. But electronics being what they are, they're quite simple, aren't they, really? I mean, it's just getting juice from the battery to a particular point with an earth, with a negative or whatever it is. So it's not rocket science, even though it feels like it at times. No sermon today. As I say, got whiskey arriving. He's probably just driven off now because he can't deliver it. I don't care. And yeah, it's been a good day. But I'm pleased with the pipe, and it is smoking particularly well. How are you all doing anyway? I've had some great comments. And they give advice about all sorts of stuff. Gardening. One chap suggested I need some rambling rector growing up. Good name, that, rambling rector. It's almost as good as a Parson's Progress, isn't it? I mean, this channel could have been called Rambling Rector, because I do like to ramble. And witter. Get a lot of smoke with this. That'll be the Latakia. But it's a good English blend. At the moment, I think I'd put this on a par with Samuel Gowith's Perfection. They're not far removed. I think I've worked out the secret of not slurping, because normally I do this. Like that. But I think the secret is just to do this. I think something might still come up on the mic. But no, it's been a great day. I've got no sermons for you. You've seen what's going on in the kitchen. I'm hoping it'll look like this in another day. Completely cleared of everything. Those quarry tiles, of course, will probably be coming up and will form some form of pavement outside. Some ornamental pavement. Because what I want is those old, you know, in those old cathedrals, those lovely flagstones. They're all... So yes, I just had a slight interruption then. I'm sorry about that. So yes, don't sub-franchise your spirit away. You know, the soul is not something that, you know, you get a subcontractor in to deal with. But of course, there's a lot of people that tell you you do need them, because that makes them indispensable, doesn't it? Once you pass the responsibility of your soul onto somebody else, and you believe they are absolutely necessary for your salvation, you've not only absconded from personal spiritual responsibility, but you've made them indispensable, which is what really they want to be. I'm very wary of these gurus, for example. I don't care if I slurp anymore. Sorry, chaps. There's no way you can smoke a pipe without making a noise. Yeah, very wary of those. I watched that film last night, Eat, Love, Pray, Pray, Love, Eat, whatever it's called, with Julia Roberts. She goes and joins one of these ashrams. There's some odd female guru in charge. And it goes on, doesn't it? Beatles went off, didn't they, to some ashram or other. I certainly believe in their functionality in terms of guides, because we all need tips, don't we? I mean, look at the tips I've been getting on my Land Rover. I have Land Rover gurus speaking to me on the internet. And spiritual matters are no different. Sometimes some people are a bit further on in the way. These Land Rover people are further on in the way. They know what they're talking about. They're experts in their field, really. And so there are meditation teachers, there are priests, there are ministers, there are preachers who are spiritually advanced, some of them. And sometimes they may say something that will strike a chord with you. But even so, do not make them a condition of your salvation. That would be ridiculous. Take the good things they say, throw away and discard the bad things in your estimation, they say. Ultimately, you are responsible. Do not subcontract out your soul. And that's my message for today. But while we had that little intermittent, my cider seems to have filled itself. See, miracles still continue to this day. And on that lovely thought, my friends, I don't know how long I've been talking, probably far too long again, as usual. I'm going to love you and leave you. It's a Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you're getting time to put your feet up. Enjoy your favourite food, or maybe your favourite tipple. I hope you're with loved ones and family, and that you are being blessed. And with that, I'm going to bless myself by continuing with my pipe. I hope my whiskey consignment eventually arrives at some point, and I'll see you tomorrow night. God bless.